Hiya, so I'm going to be talking about an escaped slave who revisited his former slave owner. Now, the word slave, some people don't like the word slave. There's some things about it that people wonder should it be changed, but I'm just going as I'm explaining things. So Frederick Douglass was born into slavery and grew up with his aunt and grandmother, but when he was 10 years old, he was sent to the wire plantation in Talbot County in Maryland to serve Aaron Anthony, who gave him to his daughter Lucretia Old and her husband Thomas, who then sent him to serve her brother Hugh. He learnt to read whilst being with Hugh, whilst working in the house, but in 1833 the two brothers had a disagreement, so he took back Frederick and he was put back on the fields. Thomas was a very cruel person who beat and starved the slaves that he owned. He did not allow them to read, worship, or do anything that was an enjoyment or a need to them. He often lent him out to others to simply break his spirit, physically and emotionally. He eventually returned to Hughes and fell in love and had a family, and in 1838, when he was 20 years old, he made an escape with his partner Anna Murray, who was a free woman in Baltimore. They made their escape to New York. He became heavily involved in speeches against slavery and published his own paper. In 1845, he published an autobiography of his life that described the brutality of slavery. He named his former owners, who had actually put out bounty hunters to capture him, ones that were specialised in capturing slaves who had escaped. He fled to Great Britain to avoid being captured, but decided to go back to help with the abolishment of slavery after a group of supporters had paid for his freedom. In 1848, he wrote to his former owner, saying, "I intend to make use of you as a weapon with which to assail the system of slavery." He continued, "There is no roof under which you would be more safe than mine, and there is nothing in my house which you might need for your comfort, which I would not readily grant. I am your fellow man, but not your slave." He went on to meet Amanda Old Sears in 1857, who was Thomas's daughter. She had attended a lecture of his, and she had invited him to visit her home. Her views had changed since she was young, and she had become an anti-slavery advocate, going against her family. He had family members who were still owned by her dad, so he was able to ask about them. They kept in touch, and he and Thomas actually met at Thomas's deathbed. Apparently both were crying. Thomas stated he thought he was too smart to be a slave and that he would have done the same thing, escaping like he did if he was in his shoes. Strangely, Douglass said he didn't run away from him but from slavery, and apologised for blaming Thomas for mistreating his grandma. He was told that his real birth date, because that was something that was kept from him. I'm not completely sure why he apologised. I couldn't find information about that, which I found quite strange. In a speech in 1881 in West Virginia, he said, "Slavery is indeed gone, but its long shadow yet falls broad and large over the face of the whole country." His campaign had ended by that time, but he continued to fight for equality and civil rights for black people. So it's a very heartfelt story. He was obviously just one of many that went through something that should never have happened, and yet still was able to speak kindly to a person who had treated others for no reason so badly. That's another not very nice story, but thanks for watching. If you want to see more, please check out my other videos. Thanks, bye.